cold emails do work. You find the angel investor's email address, which isn't that difficult. And if you can't find an angel investor's email address, well, maybe you shouldn't be in the business because it's not the hardest thing in the world. And you can also find these people on AngelList now and Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. So the angel investors are out there. You just have to do the research. So contacting them by email, it's delicate because they get a lot of emails. What will they respond to? Well, I'll give you a couple of hints. If you start out with a compliment and or recognition that you know the history of that angel investor, you are going to start off on second base, literally. So if you're emailing Naval from AngelList, who's an angel investor as well, and you say, I knew your first company, or I saw your interview with Jason on This Week in Startups, and you said this, and it inspired me to become an entrepreneur. Or, dear Jason, I am a huge fan of episode number 206 with Chris Sacca. He was hilarious, but I really love Gary Vaynerchuk's episode best, right? You're starting with some indication that you've done your research on the angel, which makes us as the angels know, I'm not just one out of 200 emails you sent, the cookie cutter. And send it in a regular, normal font. Like I got an email the other day from somebody who had a really interesting idea. For some reason, they decided to like HTML their email. And also, if it's too long, if it's really long, it doesn't look like a sane person doesn't write 1,000 words in a first email. So here's what your first email should say. Dear ex-angel investor, I really am interested in what you said in this article and or podcast. I agree, blah, 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 blah. That's like one sentence. Sentence two, I am a 27-year-old graduate of Stanford who is working on an idea. One sentence description of the idea. That's it. Just a little taste of who you are. We don't need your goddamn life biography because nobody cares. Nobody cares what school you went to, but a little bit. Okay, I'm a 26-year-old from Manhattan. I'm 22. I'm in Chicago. Just an idea of what I'm dealing with here. People do want to know. It could be I'm a 30, I mean, I don't mean to be ageist here, but it could be I'm a 30-year vet of the television industry, and I've left to start an advertising network for YouTubers. Here's how it works. One sentence, right? Just here's what I'm doing. One sentence. Then here's the magic. A link. A screenshot. Just something that indicates that you are a builder. A talker, not a walker. Nobody is interested in your ideas. We're interested in your execution. For the love of God. Nobody cares about your ideas. I don't know how to say that more plainly. If you are an angel investor or a professional investor, do you know what you hear all day long? Ideas. Do you know what you realize after a very short period of time? Everybody has the same goddamn ideas. Oh, you want to make a social network that's better than MySpace, Mr. Zuckerberg? Wow, I have gotten that idea literally 500 times in the last 6 months. I'm putting us back in that time period when Zuck was, coming out and raising capital and leaving Harvard to come to Palo Alto. But what differentiated somebody like Mr. Zuckerberg is that Mr. Zuckerberg was not a talker, but a walker. He was a doer. Okay? He could show something. Here it is. Here is the basic version. Here's how it works, right? He had started building, and there was a sense of inevitability. You either got on the Facebook train or you didn't. And trust me, that train was moving fast. There was a sense of urgency to it. So that is how you contact somebody by cold email. And then at the bottom, so we got the first paragraph about the angel investor, second paragraph, who you are and your idea, and then 3, an image, a mock-up, a URL that takes them to a deck, whatever it is. And then number 4, I would love to meet with you anytime, anywhere, for 15 minutes if you are interested in what I'm doing. So you've sent another signal. I will go anywhere at any time to get 10 minutes with you. That's how important you are, Mr. Naval, okay? Mr. Chris Dixon, Mrs. Esther Dyson, whoever it is that you're trying to get as an angel investor. You want to make them feel like you are the most important angel investor for them to land. Even if it is not true, you need to make them feel special. And now, they will not respond to your first one, but they may click on the link. They may look at the images. You know why? Screens like to move. People like to see things moving on their screen. When you send somebody a screenshot or a wireframe, I mean, and you don't send everything, right? You don't want to send the whole goddamn sitemap and a huge 50-page document. That's absurd. But if you just send us a beautiful image, we are going to look at it. We cannot help but not look at it. Now, you say to me, well, I don't have a designer. Well, why are you coming to angel investors if you're not even capable in the year of 2014 of getting a world-class designer to build you a couple of screens? For the love of God, a world-class designer on Dribbble or Behance.net cost $25, $50, $75, or $100 an hour. If you're not willing to spend $1,000 with a designer, you should not be writing that email. And this is a whole nother thing that I'm going to get into. Firing off emails is easy. That's why I get so many goddamn emails all the time. That's why all of us angel investors get so many emails. But making something beautiful and crafting it and thinking it through is hard. So if you send an email, you've put yourself in the bucket of people who are capable of sending an email. Guess what? That's 100% of the population can send an email. But if you make something crafted and brilliant, small, but brilliant and beautiful, you've now self-selected yourself into the top 10% of the class by spending $500 or $1,000. But you know what? 95% of the people who email me don't even take that basic step. And I can tell you 95% of 100 don't even take the basic step to understand who they're emailing. And if you sense a little bit of frustration in my voice, it's because as an angel investor and an entrepreneur, I've been on both sides of the table. And I've thought this through myself. I made these mistakes early in my career where I was just like, if I could just go to lunch with you, if I could just get time with you, you would understand that I'm brilliant. It might be true. But we need to have a filtering mechanism on the other side of the table. And the filtering mechanism, depending on who you are, is going to be execution, maybe their network, okay? And it's a very, or maybe how good your idea is, maybe, but I doubt it. It's really going to be, did you come from a trusted source or did you make something brilliant? And that leads me to the next point. The best way to get in touch with me is not to email me. It's to find somebody I trust and to get them to introduce you and to send your email to me. So I just got the co-founder of YouTube, one of the co-founders, there's three actually, and the third little-known co-founder emailed me about a project. And he said, hey, Jason, you may not remember, we may not. Of course, I remembered him. And he said, I'm investing in this. These individuals who have this idea that's in the video space would love to meet with you. And I said, well, if they know the co-founder of YouTube and they're in the video business and they got him to email me, you know what? I'm like halfway there to investing. Forget about taking the meeting. I instantly replied with my assistant, get a meeting. Let's talk. And I didn't even really, I did click on the idea. They had a link there. They did explain their idea succinctly. But it was just a perfect interaction for me as an entrepreneur.